Hello, I'm Joshua of Milestone Play. I am a professional game master, and welcome to this year in review. Every year, we like to take a look back at what has happened in Milestone Play through the previous year, and then a slight perspective on what might be coming in the following. So, we're going to look at 2024 and predict out for 2025. Now, whenever we do this, we try to base our year around a theme, taking it from CGP Gray's kind of themed journal, themed year idea. And the year of 2024 was the year of structure. We set up a couple of things in last year's review to try to position ourselves better for this next year. And we're going to look and see how well we did. Some things worked out well for us, while we had some pretty major failings elsewhere. After we do that, we'll go ahead and look at 2025 and establish a theme for that. So, 2024, the year of structure. Part of this year's structure, we wanted to do a couple things. Back in 2023, December, we started making a physical calendar to post online to help us better understand what was going on and allow our players to see what events were coming up throughout the month. We then wanted to continue that calendar throughout the year to make our schedule more openly available for players that wanted to either jump into a one shot or try to find some area where they might be able to put a long term campaign where in my life and their lives things could mesh together. So we actually kept the calendar up for the entire year, and actually, I just did an improvement on that. Sneak peek for ahead. Anyways, so we were doing that. We established our Tower of Taziak series, a roguelite dungeon with legacy elements of building up your own houses of patronage to help your characters in the future, and use that as part of our structure to help give us something that could be slot in throughout the weeks that did not require a solid player base, did not require commitment, but did have a lasting effect as players came back and played time and time again. Tower of Taziak also going really well. Something else that we were doing was wanting to do a Patreon post the first Saturday of every month. And we almost did that. Everything except for June. June, when I was on my Europe player tour, I thought I had scheduled something. I thought I had intended to schedule something to be premiered on that day. And as I was on a plane, I realized I didn't. And then I was going to find time for it, and I was going to find time for it, and it just never happened. So 11 out of 12 on the Patreon post. That went really, really well. So much so that moving into January this year, we're having our initial Patreon post that we've already done, and then we're going to do another one every Saturday. Once again, looking a bit forward into what's coming for 2025. In addition to Patreon, we wanted to focus on our YouTube channel. The goal was to have 2 videos done every month. With that, there was some things we wanted to do every month, a check-in, a sending Kenku GM diary, that sort of thing, as well as then scattering across the seasons a number of instructional videos on different role-playing game systems and player tips and things like that. The videos did not go so well for me. So January of last year, we had 3 videos actually come out. We had our year recap, but then we had 2 additional videos after that. February continued pretty strong with us having one of our own videos, and then we guested in on D20 Play's game of Shadow Dark in February. March and April each had 1 video, so beginning to fall off the wagon, not so good. Before we hit our Europe tour, we actually did quite a bit of preparing. Despite leaving for the tour, May had 2 videos. June had 3 videos, 2 of them that were scheduled for while I was on tour, and then immediately editing one of the videos from the trip and posting that at the end of June as well. July and August also had 2 videos each on the main channel, including the beginning of editing the vlog videos for the side channel. So carrying that momentum forward, having material both from the Europe trip as well as then the coming of Gen Con, maintained really well after the Europe trip. And then in August, Gen Con happened, and I started to wear down, and the vlog videos I was trying to edit began to bog down, and then I had a lot of pressure on myself of what I wanted for good quality videos, and things started to fall apart. September, I had no videos on the main channel. October, I had 1 video on the main channel. And then November and December, I had no more videos. I had a very strong beginning on the videos, but a really bad ending. Now, That said, that's just for the simple structure of the videos that I wanted planned. I did a simple structure for 2024 and I did a more advanced structure. And in that advanced structure, I had like, oh, one season I want this, or every season I want to have this type of thing happening and that type of thing. The seasonal things did not go so well for me. But at least the videos, maybe, I haven't done the math, maybe 75% I'll give myself on starting strong and then really failing at the end. I also had plans for different games I wanted to run. I wanted to do some mini series. I wanted to do some Malpos events of one shot specifically for the world space of our shared campaigns. I already shared that I was in a D20 play Shadow Dark game as a one shot. We did a Malpos event for guerrilla warfare for Jelvaja. We did some nice things. Through the winter and into the spring, we did a Power Rangers RPG series. That was wonderful. And then things also started to fall apart there. I had a lot of plans of different types of stories to happen, and things just never really came together. Now, we did get a Call of Cthulhu Beacon mission series going for quite a while through kind of midsummer fall area. That was a lot of fun, and it was really good to get a different type of game system in there. But that too eventually kind of came to a close. So we had a lot of good intentions for the structure of the Year of Structure, but we didn't do it all that well. Now, we also wanted to test play a lot of our own materials in our own games as we were developing our own RPGs. We had come out of 2023 with the crossover codex leading into the Turning of the Ages event that was premiered last January. And from there, we shifted our focus from the crossover codex of a more simplified game to delving into the most complex RPG that I have worked on since college. We started off with a couple test plays of our heroic potential game, and after those test plays, I had to make a lot of changes. And then come August, we actually did a dev series with two of our players, playing the same little tiny campaign with its own version of the heroic potential game. And by the end of that, I had another giant list of things I wanted to change and adapt. And throughout the fall into the winter, I've been working on and off on heroic potential to the point of this month having a whole bunch of content that is going to be released as we are working more on the specifics of what makes particular characters unique from each other. So we're very much still full powering ahead on our heroic potential system, and I want to continue the test plays that were happening in 2024 into 2025. So the Year of Structure happened pretty well, but a big thing that I've realized is despite having intentions on the structure and things I vaguely wanted to do, one of the biggest advice pieces that you get when it comes to structuring your life is to write things down and have things planned and have specific goals that this will happen. And despite having the vaguity of, I want to have 2 videos a month, and every season I want to do one of these types of videos and one of these types of games, I didn't actually follow the structure, especially as life started to get busy and hectic. It started to fall apart because while the intention of structure there, it wasn't actually there. So that brings us to 2025, something that's been alluded to multiple times, and our theme for 2025 is the Year of Improvement. Now, 2024 was not a complete failure, but there are things that need to be improved. And with that, I want to focus on that. I've already taken the calendar from 2024 and adapted it into a new format, kind of repositioned some things, changed the dimensions, made a bit more space. Additionally, I would mainly put the icons on the calendar to signify what was on the calendar or what just hadn't been removed yet. In the new calendar, there are icons for all of the different things that could possibly happen. There are the one-shots, there are campaigns that are full campaigns looking for players, but every calendar now has the video events, the one-shots, the game dev, the in-person play. The legend of all of these types of events is going to be on every single calendar, not only prompting me to put more of them into the schedule, but to allow other players, other prospective people in the community to know what is possible. Now, I will be endeavoring to put more of these events on each of the calendars, but I also learned in the Year of Structure that predetermining everything is not going to go well for me. I'm going to have that looming dread, and so while I do need structure, I do need built-in flexibility. Part of having a theme as opposed to some other yearly resolution is the theme is supposed to be adaptable. So even with something like structure, I do need to make it adaptable. So the improvement on that is, without saying what is going to be happening every month, I do have that legend that is prompting me to do as many different things as I am inspired to do, doing what I know will help get the work done, as opposed to what I'll feel bad about not having done. In addition, doing monthly events. Back in November of 2024, I started putting a monthly event on the calendar. Now, that event was my take on NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, where I actually just put a bunch of time into the World Anvil for information, lore, things like that. So there's more content for the overall player base. I had done that in previous years before kind of falling off of the World Anvil due to writer burnout. But taking the month for November to once more get a bunch of content added on, that gave me a goal for that month. Going into December, we did Toils for Tots, Toils for Tower of Taziok, as a means of pushing the Tower of Taziok and having that be something special going on that month. To try to keep things novel for myself and keep things flowing with inspiration, we will continue this kind of monthly event, and each of them throughout 2025 is going to be something different of a regard. There might be things in similar strains, but giving myself the openness where there is, despite having structure that I know there's things I need to do, it gives me kind of the space to ebb and flow with it. In addition, back in 2024, I wanted to do a lot more advertising. And it took me all the way up until Gen Con in August to get a bunch of flyers made. But then from there, I've been going to different game stores and getting flyers put up. And whether it's just our monthly calendars with some explanations, advertisements for the Tower of Taziok, I've begun that. And moving into 2025, I want to continue to adapt what I've done to better improve that front of things. So overall, that is the trajectory of 2025. We do have Gen Con coming again this next year, which I'm looking forward to. After the past year and a half, 2 years of visiting players in person, we are also trying to put up a community event to get as many players to come to Gen Con as possible, to do a meetup there. Not that I'm trying to guilt trip any of the players that I've come and visited you, so now you come visit me. It's just a convenient location. It's someplace I know I'm going to be. There's a lot more than just me there. So there's other things for players to do in the gaming space. And then for any players interested in Critical Role and things like that, they're also having a large show for their Daggerheart game the weekend of Gen Con in Indianapolis. So it's just a nice moment for anyone that is interested in the community. There are multiple reasons to meet up, and there's so much more to do than just milestone play. So that is set up for August coming. I don't plan on going to any other conventions this year, but I said that in the last wrap up last January, and I ended up going to the UK Games Expo. I do not expect that to happen again this year. It is not within the finances, but I'll keep eyes open on other possible conventions to go to, other in-person game opportunities that might happen randomly throughout the year. I would love to have these things happen. We have already had in December of 2024 a player reunion meetup for a board game that was completely player driven, and I am extremely thankful that players wanted to do that and set it up, and then I got an invite to come as well. So that was fantastic. So hopefully more things like that happen. But for 2025, with the year of improvement, I have the base things that I want to improve on. I want to improve how I'm structuring the calendar, how I'm structuring my expectations. I want to improve my advertising, improve my branding. I want to continue to work on the heroic potential game. I am absolutely loving it. I have a couple other name ideas for it, but the generalized idea behind the system, I very much want to continue to work on that and improve that. And hopefully by the end of the year, having something much more solid and possibly maybe a player group to play it weekly. Maybe we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that is the overall perspective on 2024, the year of structure, moving into 2025, the year of improvement. After all, we're trying to be improving all the time, so might as well do it. This is where we now go into the wrap up of this video, where if you want to join the community, we do have the Discord link down in the comments, as well as links to our website and our Patreon. You can find a bunch of random information on the website. You can find all of the different upcoming games and the like, as well as other opportunities that we have. On the Patreon, you'll find a lot of our behind the scenes content, the work on the Heroic Potential system, as well as many other custom RPGs that we have made following our own intentions, such as a simple supers game, a nostalgic fairy garden, and a cul-de-sac game by the name of Don't Fade, different iterations on the Winnie the Pooh, and just all these wonderful things. But yeah, so hang out, please. And if you're looking for a game, join the community. You might find one that's just suited for you.